Welcome to day 2 of the In Her Image podcast. I am so glad that you're back with me as we continue our journey through Proverbs 31. Today, we're going to explore an important topic, guarding your focus. Throughout this study, we've been learning what it means to be a woman made in God's image. And as we dive into today's verse, we'll talk about how protecting our attention is key to living out our divine purpose. So let's take a look at Proverbs 31:3. Do not spend your strength on women, your vigor on those who ruin kings. Today, we'll learn this powerful lesson in being intentional about where we place our time, energy, and focus. So let's dive in. In Proverbs 31:3, Lemuel's mother warns him not to squander his strength on distractions or relationships that could pull him away from his purpose. As a king, Lemuel had an enormous responsibility, and his mother knew that the effectiveness of his reign would depend on where he directed his attention. She was teaching him how to guard his focus and avoid being misled by influences that would drain his energy and compromise his integrity. Her words challenge us today to be intentional about how we spend our time and who we surround ourselves with. We live in a world full of distractions. Between work, social media, entertainment, and relationships, it's easy to get pulled into multiple directions, leaving us drained and disconnected from our true purpose. But just as Lemuel needed to guard his focus as a leader, we too need to protect our focus so that we can live out our calling with purpose. We all face temptations to spend our energy on things that seem important in the moment, but ultimately divert us from what truly matters. Lemuel's mother knew that indulgences and distractions could easily derail a king's effectiveness, and this is a truth that applies to all of us. Whether it's the people we invest time in, the tasks we prioritize, or the habits we form, we need to constantly evaluate where our attention is going and ask if it's supporting our purpose and values. So today, I want to invite you to reflect on the things and relationships in your life that may be drawing your focus away from what God is calling you to do. Are there any areas where you're spending too much time and energy on distractions? How can you redirect your focus to align more closely with your purpose and your values? As our Father, God directs us towards righteousness and truth. His wisdom ensures that we focus on what's right, good, and fulfilling His purposes in our lives. Just as Lemuel's mother urged him to stay focused on his duties as king, God calls us to be discerning in where we place our attention. He equips us with the wisdom to avoid distractions that will lead us astray and help us stay focused on what truly matters. God's guidance is a model for us in guarding our focus. His wisdom helps us make choices that align with His will, ensuring that we don't get sidetracked by things that will hinder our growth. To live in her image is to reflect God's wisdom by being mindful of where we direct our focus. When we protect our focus, we protect our ability to live according to His will, making decisions that honor Him. Just as God provides wisdom for us to focus on what is righteous, we too are called to live with discernment, guarding our focus so we can live lives of integrity and purpose. So, as you reflect on today's message, I encourage you to take a few moments to evaluate where your focus is being directed. Are there any distractions in your life pulling you away from your purpose? Are there relationships or activities that are misdirecting your time and energy? Take one simple step today to set a boundary that will help protect your focus. Maybe it's limiting time spent on certain distractions, or it could be investing more time in relationships that support your values. Whatever it is, choose one action that helps you honor your purpose and reflect God's wisdom in your life. The reflection question for today is, how does guarding your focus help you stay true to your purpose and values? Thank you for joining me for today's episode of In Her Image. I hope this conversation has inspired you to be intentional about where you direct your focus and to live with purpose and integrity. Remember, your time and energy are precious, and God calls us to use them wisely. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to share it with a friend who might need to hear this message. Don't forget to subscribe so you can continue the journey with us through Proverbs 31. And if you haven't yet, I encourage you to grab a copy of my book, In His Image. It's a powerful, easy read that will deepen your understanding of your identity as a woman made in God's image. Until tomorrow, be blessed, and remember, guard your focus, live with purpose, and reflect God's wisdom in everything you do. If today's episode resonated with you, please subscribe, share, and leave a review. I'd love to hear how this podcast is impacting your life and how you're applying these truths. Reach out to me on social media or leave a comment. Let's continue the conversation and grow together. See you tomorrow.